Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where the performance of Veltima fungicide can take your best results even further. Well, under clear skies at 71 degrees on the barn thermometer right now. That temperature is expected to rise quickly once the sun comes up. It's going to be hot, going to be very humid, some even calling it tropical feels to today. That means stress on people, livestock, and yes, your pets. So be smart and stay safe if you're out in the heat. A couple quick calendar reminders. Powered by Soy Biodiesel, Dale will be broadcasting during the midday programming today from the Ohio State Fair. The broadcast thanks to the American Dairy Association Mideast. Then coming up on Monday, the Axis County Fair Tour continues. The next stop will be at the Wood County Fair, as Dale will be making the second check presentation to the Wood County Junior Fair Board. It's time now for our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council. Joining me today is Susan Watkins. Susan, a soybean farmer in Virginia, currently serving as secretary of the United Soybean Board and chair of the Demand Action Team. Susan, what are some of the different strategies the United Soybean Board has to tangibly create market demand?
Well, one of our partners that we support is USAC, and that is our trade partner building new markets in overseas areas. And I don't know that we'll ever have a China again. That was such a home run for us. But just steady, continuous growth is what we're looking for. And USAC is so boots on the ground in these foreign countries, and that really helps us get that demand out. And we're also trying to build domestic demand with new uses for our meal, for our oil, and such as that.
My guest again today, Susan Watkins, Secretary of the United Soybean Board and Chair of the Demand Action Team. Today's update brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff dollars at work. Let's get an update now from Dale Minyo on all the things going on today at the Ohio State Fair.
This Ohio State Fair open livestock preview schedule brought to you by Farm Credit Mid-America. Let's jump out to some further dates so you may be planning ahead. If we're looking out to August, on August 1st, Guernsey and Jersey heifers will show. August 2nd in the dairy barn will be the Jerseys, Guernseys, and Brown Swiss. The draft horses will be in July 29th through August 1st. And August 2nd will be the ARBA-sanctioned Open Rabbit Show. Plenty of activity still going on in the sheep barn on August 1st. The Suffolks, Tunis, all of the breeds and Shropshires. August 2nd, starting at 8 a.m., we'll see the Dorsets, Horned, Polled, and Advantage. And at 9 a.m., the Cheviots, and 11, the Monadales. A complete state fair schedule online at ohiostatefair.com.
And thanks, Dale. Well, let's check in now on that tropical weather forecast. Today's forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
It's going to be a hot one across the Buckeye State today. Be safe. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Dew points are sky high here today. Heat and humidity, the calling card of your Thursday. The good news is this is probably the nastiest day of the week. The bad news is we're not getting rid of humidity super fast. We're just going to be backing off temperatures a little bit as clouds come in. So today, full sunshine, high humidity. It's just not very nice. The triple-digit heat indices will be seen from the state line to state line, I think. If you're not in the triple digits, you're doggone close on those heat indices. Tomorrow, starting to see a little bit of a cloud cover sneak into northwest Ohio. That's where we can see some scattered showers and thunderstorms first. And then we spend the afternoon and evening with better shower and thunderstorm action spreading across the rest of Ohio. This will have a long tail going through most of Saturday as well. Chances of showers and thunderstorms, and I'll say Sunday even has a chance for morning and midday showers and storms before clearing out late. Combined over the 3-day period, I'm going to say anywhere from a quarter to maybe 2 inches. It just depends on who gets the best threat of strong thunderstorms on multiple occasions, but there's moisture likely across 95% of the Buckeye State. You get into southern Ohio, here's where we have a little bit of concern that maybe we miss out on some of this, but I still think almost everyone has really good shots at moisture. Behind it, we dry down for the start of next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not really much happening. Thursday, Friday, instability back, pop-up scattered showers and thunderstorms, but only about 40 to 50% coverage. And then after that, honestly, we stay largely dry for the following week. There's action all around us, but can't quite get in here with any regularity. That's a pattern that we have to watch evolve yet. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Hey, Ohio! Don't wait! The Ohio State Fair is here now through Sunday, August 3rd. Experience fair favorites like the butter cow, livestock animals, shopping, delicious food, exciting entertainment, thrilling rides, competitions, and so much more. Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair through August 3rd. Get your tickets at ohiostatefair.com.
I'm joined today by Kim Tudor. Kim is with BASF, serving as a technical market manager for row crop fungicides and specializing in the corn and wheat crop. Kim, right now, a big topic among many corn growers is tar spot, especially with the time of the year we are in. And depending on where you're at, the way the weather has been, some excessive rainfall in some parts of the country. Can you maybe share a little bit more about the disease and things farmers should keep in mind when it comes to managing? Obviously, the disease is out in the environment, so we're at the point where we need to look at ways to manage what's out there.
Sure. So tar spot is a really problematic corn disease in lots of parts of the Midwest, as well as moving further and further across the country. It was first identified in the Midwest back in 2015, and now it's continued to spread outwards. As of this morning, the Crop Protection Network tar spot map cites that it's been documented in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and even into New York and Pennsylvania. And so when we think about why this disease can be so problematic and what can we do to manage it, first and foremost, it takes us back to that concept of the disease triangle. So there are three key elements that you need in order for a disease to take place. First, you need a susceptible host, which is corn. We have lots of corn planted across the Midwest. Secondly, we need the pathogen. We know that we have the pathogen present because it overwinters in corn stubble. And then thirdly, we need the right environmental conditions, which you alluded to. Now, tar spot does prefer somewhat cooler temperatures, lots of humidity, like lots of other disease. And so when you look at the forecast across the Midwest, there are lots of areas that are going to have these temperatures at night, in that 60 to 70 some degree mark. There's lots of moisture predicted, lots of heavy dews as well. And it's really setting up for the potential to have a pretty heavy tar spot infection year. Now, part of the reason why tar spot is so difficult to manage comes back to the idea of a latent period. So a latent period is that time between initial infection and reproduction, or when you can actually start to spot those lesions with the naked eye. Now, every soybean and corn disease has a latent period, but they just vary in terms of length. And tar spot has a really long latent period. It's 14 to upwards of 20 days. So that's roughly 2 to 3 weeks that disease is inside that corn plant, robbing it of nutrients and of water and reducing its overall photosynthetic ability before you can even detect that it's there. And so that's why it's really important for folks to consider a planned, proactive fungicide application with a product like Veltima fungicide.
Talk a little bit about Veltima, if you will, and sort of what that does in the plant to help ward off tar spot.
So Veltima is an incredible performer in terms of long-lasting and broad-spectrum disease control against all kinds of problematic corn diseases, whether it be tar spot, gray leaf spot, northern corn leaf blight, southern rust, etc. But in addition to that long-lasting disease control, it also offers environmental stress mitigation. You know the old adage, the only two things in life that are certain are death and taxes? I would argue that the third is stress. So our crops are always battling some kind of stress. It could be heat stress, drought stress. It could be stress from a disease. We just never know exactly what that stress is going to be. And so by helping keep the stomata or the openings on the leaf surface so that those plants can continue to give off heat, they can give off stress hormones like ethylene and continue to photosynthesize, you're going to continue to promote root growth and continue to drive that yield potential. But in addition to optimizing that plant's growth efficiency, we're also going to help mitigate those environmental stressors as well. So again, by keeping those stomates open, it's a natural plant response to close stomates when they're starting to experience drought stress because they're trying to hold on to as much water as they possibly can. But by keeping those stomates open, it prevents that heat from building up inside that plant and triggering to that plant, hey, we're under stress. We might need to start thinking about producing seed. So with a product like Veltima, you're going to get, again, that longer lasting broad spectrum residual disease control, but you're also going to get other stress mitigation benefits as well. And that's what leads to the consistent performance that we see with Veltima fungicide year in and year out.
Again, my guest today has been Kim Tudor. She is with BASF, a technical market manager with row crop fungicides for corn and wheat. Kim, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Dusty.
Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Be aware, ticks are there. As you head outdoors, remember to avoid tall grass, wear light-colored full-coverage clothing, and use EPA-registered repellent. Be sure to thoroughly check for ticks after you head in for the day. If you find any ticks, remove them carefully with tweezers and watch for symptoms such as fever, headache, or rash. For more information on ticks and tick bite prevention, head over to ohio.gov/ticks.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. We'll see you there.
Well, let's get a look at your morning market analysis brought to us by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. You can call 574-566-2113 for information on soybean marketing to LDC.
Grain markets finished the Wednesday trading period mostly lower. Corn and wheat were lower pretty much all day long. Soybeans were strong until we got to about 12:30, 1 o'clock or so, and then spent the last little bit trading down on the day. Could not put anything together to keep us in the green. Trade volume is in a decline. It has been over the course of this past week. We also have had a lack of fresh news. The August USDA crop report is still 3 weeks away. After that August crop report, we will end up with a whole host of crop tours that we'll probably be talking about, but that means we're kind of in the doldrums, the summer doldrums right now, with not a lot to chat about. Now, here's what we can chat about. Yesterday, President Trump tweeting, some would say incessantly, about some trade deals. Japan, apparently a Japan trade deal is done. Here's the issue that I have with trumpeting about a Japan trade deal. I'm hearing $550 billion. But Japan is already a top 5 trading partner in agriculture, heavy emphasis on corn and beef. So what's in the Japan trade agreement that can get us more excited over trade with an already top 5 entity? I didn't see much in the announcement or reading through some of the fine print that got me super excited. There were a couple of other things out there. Apparently the U.S. and EU are getting close to maybe a 15% tariff agreement that can come through. We will see, but there were some nuggets dropped like that. But overall, the big elephant in the room, China, Trump saying that he's going to be going in the not too distant future to China. So some people thought yesterday that that was going to be before the APEC conference that was talked about earlier, that he might meet with Xi on the sidelines of. So the market was a little excited about that, but still no date given. He's not on the road yet. Nothing really happening. So trade, all of the different surprises yesterday or talking points, I think ended up with nothing new under the sun, and the market kind of gave it up. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look at how your markets closed on Wednesday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. Well, September corn closed down 3/4 of a penny, and December corn was down 1/2 cent. August soybeans closed down 4.5 cents, while November soybeans were down 2 3/4. September Kansas City wheat closed down 9 3/4 cents. September Chicago wheat was down 9 cents, and September Minneapolis wheat was down 3 3/4. Now things have turned around slightly in the overnight trade, with September corn trading up 1/4 penny at $3.98 3/4 cents. December new crop corn up 1/4 penny at $4.17 3/4. August soybeans are trading down 1/2 penny at $10.05 1/4 cents, but November new crop beans are up 1/2 penny at $10.23 1/4, and wheat for September now trading a penny higher, $5.41 1/2 cents. Just a reminder, if you're at the Ohio State Fair and you stop by to get some ice cream in the Dairy Products Building, be sure to say hi to Dale today. This is the Ohio AgNet.